Ashe, 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 and grand rising, a grand day to you all. Once again, my fellow humans, my fellow natural, native, earthly humans. Yes, yes, and welcome to this day 28 in the series of Another Perspective on Healthy Living. But of course, yours truly, I, the Mystic Philosopher, your senior lifestyle advisor plus. Yes, the Mystic Philosopher. Yeah, of course, I just got in from doing my daily exercise. Something I can't do without. You know, my people who know me know one of my phrases. If you slow down, you go down very fast. So I have to keep on moving. Come to Bob Marley. So I went and got my workout and I feel good. There's something about exercise, working out. And you notice I'm in this thing here, it's getting a little bit cold. I had to turn on the heat yesterday, last night. Here in Ontario, Canada, it's a bit cold. And coming straight from the gym, I'm still wet underneath, but I feel good. So I said, let me get this thing out of the way because I have a couple more things to get done. So let me do this episode 28 and provoke some people with my thought-provoking perspective. Now, let me also quickly remind you, my listeners, that if you haven't yet watched episode 27 and all my previous episodes starting from episode 1, yes, to 27, and I always recommend do it in consecutive order. I strongly recommend that you please do so. If you haven't yet done so, I ask that you please do so before proceeding to watch and listen to this episode 28. You can, but because I would like you to get the best of it, at least to understand and understand what I'm saying. You don't have to agree. Don't ask none of you to agree. That's my perspective from my point of view. But if you watch them in that order, from my perspective again, I think you'll get a much better, understanding of what I am actually saying. So, if by now you haven't yet watched them, I ask that you please do so. I'm sure. Come on. I am sure that some of you, if not all of you, my listeners, and possibly agree with me and the Mystic Philosopher's reasoning, proving the fact that these materially rich, famous, and politically powerful politicians, the oppressors, the elites, aka the elect of the God of this world, and so-called world leaders, you will also understand that they are not, in no sense of the word, are they leaders? This is the point I'm trying just to take you think about it. They are not leaders. I explain that again. That's why I recommend and beg that you ask that you please watch those previous episodes. From my perspective, this fact should be a given to you all by now, if at all you watch it. This fact, you must agree with me, yeah, or at least agree with the fact, not necessarily the Mystic Philosopher. This is, but you will agree that these they are not leaders. I also ended my previous episode, which is episode 27, by saying, and I quote, so here again, one needs not become a rocket scientist to know or to figure out that the reason why our fellow natural, native, earthly humans and people all over the world are in such turmoil, are in such unrest, are mourning, groaning, complaining, and groaning, etc., is because of our wicked rulers and oppressors, yes, those that are in authority over us. That's why we are in this problem we are, the world is. Today they are keeping us their subjects. All of that I explained to you already. Citizens and slaves in subservience and in hardship. And especially by, how they're doing it? By the unjust exercise of authority. Unquote. I say that. And again, I would just like to remind you, my listeners and watchers, that you should not be deceived into believing that these Adamic race creatures and humankind, these malevolent oppressors, are happy. And that thus, because they're happy, they're experiencing and enjoying abundant life. Not at all. The life of abundance that Yahushua or Jesus, according to their own holy book, spoke about. Not at all. They're not happy. And I'm going to give you more examples as to why they're not happy. In fact, our own activated common sense. And again, I remind you that why I say not just common sense, but activated common sense, because according to the language, the very word common mean it is everywhere. The air is common to everyone. But common sense mean it should be activated. So in our own activated, because a lot of people, common sense, it's not activated. Our own activated common sense will affirm to those of us that are awakened, listen carefully now, and enlightened, that these, the aforementioned wicked and abominable humankind, yes, these corrupt-minded people, aka these bad-minded people, these worldly and materially rich people, these cocky, intolerant, and contemptuous people, some of these famous political and military powerful so-called leaders and so-called world leaders, these elites are more correctly, these the elect of the God of the world, most popularly, for you, just in case you didn't know, but the God of this world that is most popularly known as who? Satan, the devil. Yes, these governments, aka these mind controllers, again, I beg you, please go back and watch those. You will see where I'm coming from. In summary, these cowards, yes, they are cowards. These tormentors, these terrorists and oppressors, my gentle people, for your information, they are not at peace, let alone happy. They are not peaceful. They are not about peace either. With the exception of when our source, for those of us who are in the know, our source and Mother Nature would have their physical bodies, and please note, I said their physical body put to rest, aka RIP, rest in peace, at the cemetery or in some crematorium someplace. From the mystic philosopher's perspective, in no other sense of the word peace, and the natural ideology of peace, not these, but the natural ideology, for those of us in the know what I'm talking about, the natural ideology of peace are there. These aforementioned wicked, abominable people are at peace, be it physical peace, be it mental peace, be it spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, and otherwise. They are not at peace. From the mystic philosopher perspective, you don't have to be a mystic. You don't have to be a philosopher or even a systems approved intellectual genius to know and agree with the following three facts. In fact, all that is required for one to be in total agreement with these three facts are a sane and intellectually honest mind, coupled again with what? Activated common sense. And the first fact is what? Number one, our activated common sense will affirm this, that the time to be peaceful and at peace, and to be at peace first with oneself, and by extension with all others, is when? Now. I think it was, what's his name, sing this song, it's now or never the time to be at peace. And to be at peace with oneself is when? Now. Number 2, our activated common sense will affirm this, that the place to be at peace is where? Here. Think about it. Wherever here is to you or wherever here is to us, the place to be at peace is where? Here. Third, our activated common sense will affirm that the way to be at peace is to make others live in peace and to be at peace with themselves. And so that all our natural native earthly humanity and our natural native earthly inhabitants will experience and enjoy peace. And as it is written and can be found in the Adamic Race History and Holy Book, which by now you know is the Christian Holy Bible, well over 3,000, in fact, let me correct that. It was written in the Christian Holy Bible 3,500 years ago. It was first written on scrolls and then, recently in the book or in books called Bibles, right? So that's just for the correction there. And holy book. So well over 3,000 years ago. And this is what was written there. It said the way of peace. Or if you prefer, in my word, the path to peace. Or the path of peace. They know not. Those wicked abominable people, they don't know peace. They know not. And I quote, just to get it straight from that which is translated from that which was written. It said, and I quote, the way of peace they do not know. Who do not know the way of peace? Those wicked and abominable people. The way of peace they do not know. And how you know wicked and abominable people? By their fruits. But let me get back to this. The way of peace they do not know. There is no justice in their paths. They have turned them into crooked roads. Crooked roads. No one who walks along them will know peace. That was from, and quote that, and that was from one of their translations known as the New International Version. The second one I'll quote, it said, the way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. Unquote, and that is from the King James Version. And who wrote this, or who is alleged to have written this, according to what is said by many and believed, a prophet by the name of Isaiah. And in the book called Isaiah 59 and verse 8, please read it for yourself and take time and meditate on these things. And just see what sense it did, how it applied. Now, from my mystic philosopher's perspective, if this that I've just quoted for you, I read for you, if it is at all correct, then again, one needs not be a rocket scientist or a theoretical physicist, etc. One needs not be a systems educated or be systems educated to know, understand, and overstand that if or when you are looking to, or if or when you are being driven by any of these elites, any of these politicians, any of these so-called World Economic Forums, any of these so-called World Health Organization, any of these so-called world leaders, or more correctly, these oppressors, etc. If I tell you I look into them for peace, or to know, you have to know that you are already doomed the minute you look into them and believe and trusting in them and following them on the path that they are leading you, that they are telling you leading to peace. You're doomed. Meaning, if you are looking to the so-called United Nations as an example, the United Nations organization, and to their so-called leader or leaders for peace, then according to the scripture, please read it and interpret it for yourself. According to the scripture, you are doomed, or you are already doomed, because you look into people that are not at peace with themselves in their own mind, as I mentioned earlier, mentally, spiritually, physically, and otherwise. So to look to them and to follow them, you're doomed. Hello, somebody. Simply put, if you are looking to, or if you are driven by any of these elites, political or otherwise, to find you peace or to bring you peace, you are doomed. Now I will be talking much more about peace in an upcoming episode. So please stay tuned. I just drop that in here. So these people are not happy. All these aforementioned people, so-called powerful and all these people, they're not happy. They are not happy, and nor can they be happy. They are not happy, and neither are they living naturally. Living how? They are not living naturally. In all practical reality, to those of us that are in the know, meaning those of us that are awakened and enlightened spiritually, intellectually, and otherwise, we know that they are only existing. In other words, they are just there. And most of them, if not all of them, are just there existing on drugs or some form of pharmaceuticals. But the truth be told, they are not living. They are unnatural. They are artificial. They are mechanical. They are robots. They are mentally deranged. They are automatons. They are demonically programmed for what? Destruction, including their own destruction, their own self-destruction. They are only existing in a state of what? Restlessness, rootlessness, and mental agony, etc. And why? It is because of their gross injustice or injustices. It is because of their evil. They can't be happy or be at peace. And to compound it further, it is because of their evil possessions. What they possess them as well. And they can't let go. Their evil possessions only make them dissatisfied. And consequently, they want more and more and more. Worldly material riches, worldly material wealth, money, wealth, and more political power and control to do what? Because of their restlessness, their uneasiness. They just want to do what? To dominate and control others, etc., etc. Their evil possessions make them what? Even more and more filled with two of the most venomous, dangerous, and contagious virus and disease, commonly known as what? Greed and envy. In fact, it is recorded that Jesus, or Yahushua, himself said, and I quote, "Then he said to them, watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in the abundance of possessions." And that's from the New International Version. From the King James Version, it said, "And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness. For a man's life consists not in the abundance of things which he possessed." Unquote, King James Version. This is from Luke, the book in the Adamic race history and holy book called Luke, chapter 12 and the 15th verse. Again, verify it for yourself. Now, however, because these, the aforementioned, because they are the children of Satan, the devil, and thus they are master deceivers, they would have us believe the contrary. Meaning they would have us believe that they are happy. And they would have us believe, well, those of us that are awakened, believe that they are living a life that is full of bliss. Or filled with bliss, whichever is correct, etc. They would have some of us, and they did a good job on it, believe that we must become like them. You know, when people look to them and want to be like them, not knowing how sick they are. They would have us believe that we should become like them, that we must strive to to be famous like them, that we must strive to become politicians and wealthy so-called world leaders, etc., like them. And consequently, some of us have ended up envying them, the very thing that we want to get. And this is also one of the many reasons why whenever I, the mystic philosopher, an elder, gets an opportunity and have the opportunity to speak and reason with some young people today, especially the few young people that are not yet chronically corrupted, or if you prefer, all those that are not yet chronically bad mind, and thus they are seeking knowledge. We have a lot of young people seeking knowledge and are hungry for knowledge and truth. Those that are hungry for facts and thus will listen. Because these people, young people, a lot of people don't listen today, including me, some of my own. I will always share with them and will always continue to share with them my perspective on what? On the dangers of over-ambitious obsession for fame, of the over-ambitious obsession for fame, money, which is the mark of the beast, and material possessions, coupled with the dangers of envy, and why they should not and must not envy anyone, let alone envy the materially rich and famous people anywhere and everywhere in this world. In fact, in one of my most sincere attempts at sharing this, that I perceive and believe to be a very important message and liberating truth to the youths of this world, because they can learn from us because we have been there. Right? I have written a song. I have written and sung a song titled "Don't Envy the Rich." And I would love to close this segment, because I'm running out of time, yes. I would love to close the segment by reading for you the true text from it. But again, I've run out of time. And I realize that I still do have a lot more to say. So please join me in episode 29, when and where I will continue to diligently dissect for you and share with you more and more of my perspectives on another perspective on healthy living with your senior lifestyle advisor plus I, the mystic philosopher. So please stay tuned and join me then. I also ask that if at all you can, that you please support this series of short presentations titled Another Perspective on Healthy Living, by simply purchasing your daily supply of lignans from the Norwegian spruce tree, aka Fountain of Life. Purchase it from yours truly, I, the mystic philosopher, by clicking on the links provided in the description area below this video. You may also purchase a digital copy of the song playing in the background, or some other song from me. And the digital copy of the song playing in the background is called Have You Heard of the Fountain of Life? The link is also provided there. And I can assure you that your support by purchasing it will be greatly appreciated. So I can do some more. In the meantime and between time, my dear beloved people, in your becoming, I will let you be more and more and not less, aka bless. I am the mystic philosopher. Ashe, 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 I say.